Tolerance encouraging public sector not report on corruption. Yes. Now it has become a mafia both in the public and the private sector, and they tolerate each other's behaviors. There is an example. I mean, whether it's Mr. Musharraf or whether it's Mr. Zardari or whether it's Mr. Nawaz Sharif, and whether it's Mr. Malik, what is his name?
Imran?
No, Malik Riaz,
Yes.
and whether it is government officers and judges are known to have, and professors are known and vice chancellors are known for different type of corruption behavior, and yes, we do. There is a culture of closing your eyes on corruption, and therefore there is a culture of tolerance, both in the government sector as well as in the social sector. Could they explain the rise of corruption levels as evidence of Transparency International ranking? यहाँ आपने डॉट किया हुआ है, कितने साल से है वो रैंकिंग? मैंने बताया ना कि we are now fifth, but
Yes.
we are between second and fifth. There was one year in Nawaz Sharif's government when we were not ranked, and the government said, look, now the Transparency International had taken us out of the ranking. They said, no, we have not taken out of the ranking. You're not being ranked because the multinationals have said we don't want to do business with this country. It's too corrupt.
Okay.
So, speaking of leadership, do you see leadership as something positive and negative when it comes to corruption tolerance? If positive, why, and negative? Look, I believe in robust, transparent, and accountable institutions, not individuals. Yes, I agree that a good person in an organization can do good things, and a bad person, ये किसी ने इसको वो कर दिया है, मैंने 16 पे रखा हुआ था. A bad person can destroy an organization. So yes, there is a role of individual, especially if that individual is
In power.
a leader or in power, and because a leader is a person who has followers, so the followers would act the same way as the leader.
Learning behavior.
And what are the impacts? इसको बंद करके फिर से शुरू करना.
एक घंटे बाद खत्म हो जाता है ना, मैंने कहा चेक कर लें.
What are the
41 minutes में.
Consequences of corruption tolerance? How corruption tolerance impacts corruption? Corruption tolerance enhances corrupt behaviors. How corruption plays its role in anti-corruption? Yes, corruption tolerance is against anti-corruption. When it is enhancing the behaviors corruption, then it is not. What I've seen in this society is that because of this corruption tolerance, anti-corruption people are either also corrupt or they are afraid to catch corrupt people. The corrupt people are more powerful than the anti-corruption people, and therefore either over the years the anti-corruption people have joined them or are now not in the game of catching corruption. Has the corruption tolerance affected the way this organization runs? your role directly. As I said that because in my organization there are codes of conduct and they do not tolerate at least corruption of their employees. I have had a wonderful 13-year stint because I go there, I do my work, I do my research, I teach, and I judge my good students in a good way and bad students in a bad way, and try to enhance people to a good average. I have had a good life in there. There are students who hate me and there are students who love me. Naturally, those who were good and I've supported their hard work like me, and those who were bad and I have not supported their bad habits hate me. And that shows that corruption tolerance has not, there was very little corruption tolerance, and it has not hindered my work. Do you think corruption tolerance has impacted corruption in any way? Yes, because corruption tolerance means that it closes its eyes on bad behaviors. So if there is such, it would then inculcate. But then, as I said, in a private sector organization like mine, it would dwindle profits, and therefore it is not tolerated. Neither corruption nor corruption tolerance is there because it affects directly the profits of the organization. And what impact has the corruption tolerance had on the culture of this organization? As I said, we have made the
zero tolerance.
Technically, it is zero tolerance. I don't think the word zero tolerance is good, but minimum tolerance, because as I said, we have code of conducts, and if somebody reports on the codes of conduct, there is an inquiry and there is a retribution. If they are not reporting on the then the organization will not know what type of corruption, but they are using cameras, they are using guards, they are using multiple ways of determining whether people are behaving in a particular manner that is favorable to the institution and not tolerating corrupt behaviors. So there, if anything done different now than before, yes, I think they are doing differently from before, because now they have the written code, they are revamping the organization in modern ways. There is a, I think, change in the organization, the overall organization structure, because children of the owners are taking over, and they've come from advanced industrial nation after the studies, and they're bringing in now we document every behavior. We are getting accreditation from international bodies, and those accreditations are there to evaluate and audit the behaviors of teachers and students.
Okay.
So once we start, we have started from a few years, the audit of teachers and students, the documentation of this behavior according to international standards. We have tried to eliminate, if not minimize, the tolerance of corruption. I have explained you the documentation. That is the only way. The accreditation, documentation, and what is it called? Audit. Human behavioral audit. Quantitative techniques for to measure qualitative behaviors.
Okay.
How do you think corruption tolerance is considered in terms of the relationship to corruption, would you say that it plays a leadership role? Corruption tolerance plays a leadership role in promoting corruption.
Okay.
And the anti-corruption behaviors play a leadership role in saving the society from corruption. Is corruption tolerance in some way associated with actual corruption levels? I've already said to you that it is much more a class problem. This economy is still functioning because a large amount of people are working honestly. They might not be getting the fruits of their honest hard work, but the economy is getting the fruits of this. If the corruption which is in the upper sections of the society, in the leaderships, if that had been trickled down to all levels, then the growth rate would not have been at the level that it is. Then the whole thing would have, then the society would have gone into some form of violence, and that is not being tolerated. So I think no, at actual middle level and lower level, corruption is not tolerated. It is much more tolerated in the upper level and promoted by the upper level of the society. Do you think corruption tolerance has had any effect on ministerial governmental reforms measures? Yes, it has. Almost no reforms have come in at any ministry. If the minister wants reforms, then they are delayed or not acted upon by people at lower level, clerical as well as secretaries level, and till such time the minister 4 years are gone and the minister is changed. Or if the minister is corrupt, then the reforms coming in from lower level are not so. I believe that the problem of this country is that we are entering the 21st century with 19th century corrupt and inefficient laws and institutions. We need 21st century rules, regulations, laws, institutions and behaviors. Only then all this whole, and that can only come, and I believe that the direction and speed of any economy depends on its level of technology. And that level of technology depends on the level of education of the general public. And all three are fractured. And therefore, do you think corruption tolerance has an effect on measures? What do you think, how corruption tolerance can be measured between scale of 1 to 10? Scale of 1 to 10. 10 being tolerant and 1 being intolerant. I think we are at level 8 technically.